So we are here to play Zweihander. I'm Quinn McKay, and tonight I'll be playing Jack. And this is the nameless one, and this is Lincoln Bright Eyes, and that's Walter. And I've missed out the last couple of weeks, and I'm definitely gonna get eaten by a ghoul. So, what's shaking?
Hi, everybody. It's so nice to be back together with you fine folks again. Like 40% of our regular group had surgery this week.
That's weird.
It is weird.
Why?
Yeah. Occupational hazard in some distinct cases.
Fine.
Yeah. Yep. But it's a lot has been going on, so I appreciate everybody getting together to do this again. And it looks like we're going to be inside for a while longer based on how things are going. So I hope we can keep this up and keep getting people to follow the adventure. I kind of it's totally unfair for me to ask Quinn to give the update on what's happened since Quinn was moving and doing real life stuff. So
This is my new apartment.
hey, where's the Stone Cold cookie jar?
On the island. Yeah,
Okay.
we keep an island tucked away. Don't actually keep cookies in it. I actually keep the cord to our range in it, which I don't know that we're supposed to have in an apartment. Forget I said anything.
I don't know anything. Hopefully your property manager isn't a fan of tabletop role-playing games.
I highly doubt it.
But yeah, me too. But in our last adventure, we were on the road. We took a flight from the Liam's ranch, and Jack unfortunately had to leave their inheritance temporarily, hopefully behind, because it's just not safe. They were able to salvage as much as they could from the wagons, and their company that was accompanying them to the city, of course, is lost and fled. Some of them are probably dead. All of those people are gone, but it's every group for themselves. And they, along with Shenzi the Slayer and Inspector de la Soul, lit out upon the road during a gap when the mist fades, because they've learned very well when that mist comes and goes and how much time they had to move. They were in seek of another ranch, and they found it, but there they did battle with someone who had gone bad from the horrible things they had seen. A former slayer, actually, that Shenzi had known, as it turned out. And she had to be there as they put him down, as he was too sick to save. And as the mist started to roll back in on this burned field and ranch house, they were able to find a hidden root cellar via the Nameless One's knack for finding places to hide and stay away. And as we ended, the root cellar door shut directly above their heads upon the stone staircase, and you find yourselves in pure, inky darkness. What do you want to do?
Turn on the light.
So, what was that, Anton?
I like where your head's at. Turn on the light.
All right. So you have, I'm sure at least a couple of you either have like torches, or there's at least one remaining lantern that you took from the house that you could light up.
I have a writing kit and a neck ruff, but no torches.
All right.
I think Shenzi has a lantern, and Dave has a lantern, I believe.
Yeah, Dave will struggle to get the lantern alight. It's a little bit difficult. We'll see how long this takes because of the darkness. Oh. Oh. Oh, no. Yeah. So as you hear Dave say, I've got this, hold on 1 minute, I've got this, hold on 1 minute, sort of like a dad working on a toolbox. Like, the next thing you hear is a fumbling and a crash and the breaking of glass as something is dropped and falls down a few stone stairs before almost clearly shattering on the ground below.
Does it count as a critical failure if it's your fault?
In the case of a lantern, especially when we have another one, yeah, I'm going to keep the results of this. Plus, it's too good. It would be too horrifying to realize, like... But as you mentioned, Shenzi sort of lets out an exasperated sigh and will attempt to light their own lantern. Your eyes all sort of like have to do that quick adjustments to it as suddenly you hear the flare of sulfur and the striking of the match that she uses. And for a second, all you can see is that lantern as it like lets out like a bright flash, and none of your eyes are quite prepared for it. But soon you can sort of adjust and you can see your way around as the light sort of flickers off the carved stone as the staircase descends about 5 or 6 steps into a dirt floor. So
and
yes,
there's
you can
food.
see. You would guess that there would be food since it is a root cellar. This is
What about extra torches?
that might be something to look around and see if you want to go down there and check it out.
I want to look around and see what smashed and broke and what that was about.
So you can clearly see there on the bottom, laying in a pool of its own remaining oil, was the other lantern. The lantern has.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Dave dropped the lantern and is broken upon the ground.
I needed that. I was worried.
It really eases your anxiety.
Yeah. You know, it's dark. I don't know what's happening. I don't expect Dave to just drop the lantern.
God damn, Dave.
Yeah. Who would have heard of such a thing?
Get it together.
Dave looks apologetic.
Gotta do better than that.
Dave is sorry.
Oh no, don't make me feel bad.
It happens. Which
Okay.
among us haven't dropped something awkward in the dark?
So here's the thing. I'm assuming that those ghouls are really going to do a whole number on my ancestral home, and that's honestly all I cared about. So now what I care about is making enough money so that I can repair it. So we're going to have to, like, I don't know, figure this out and set off on some kind of grand adventure so that I can pick pockets along the way and recoup my losses.
I mean, if it's about stealing treasure, then I'm on board.
I knew you'd be with me.
But in this root cellar, I mean...
Right, what now, right?
Right. This could be like our hideout where we plan our schemes.
Exactly. Do we have access to like thumbtacks and some red string?
Maybe. Lincoln?
Thumbtacks and red string, like yarn.
'Cause
The place is relatively big. You still can't see, like, it's not like a tiny little house cellar. This is like a farm's like cellar, so it's probably it's big enough that it goes past the range of the lantern. This is a pretty big space.
Oh, I guess we should investigate it.
Yeah. Don't really know what's here yet. You haven't really looked around.
Let's throw some rocks into the dark places and see if anything happens.
I'm gonna look with my eyeballs around and see what we got going on.
Oh yeah, because you have the
Right.
dark vision, right?
You.
I mean, I still want to throw rocks in the other direction while you're doing it.
Right.
We'll just cover all our bases.
The rock base, the eye base.
If somebody attacks the rock, then we'll know that there's something there. Like it's foolproof.
Or that rock had it coming.
I feel like we have some like anti rock zealotry going on here. I don't really understand. Okay, so Lincoln, with your dark vision, you can see there's at least two corners of it, what would be like the northeast and the southeast corner, that you still can't quite see all the way in, but you can clearly make out the rest. It's lined with shelves with various goods, seemingly meticulously sort of organized on them. Looks like this person was pretty fastidious. Some gardening tools, what looks like bags of like wheat, maybe a couple of things like that. Certainly things that could be used as weapons. Certainly cans and jars that look like they might be food or booze. Plenty of things to kind of take a look at down here.
All right. Well, I would like to investigate the things that look like booze.
All right, you going for the jugs?
Yes.
All right. Go ahead and roll me a search check. This will be straight up standard check.
Okay. That, Jesus, I got a 99.
So you find a couple of things that a couple of unmarked, like brown clay jugs that certainly smell like booze or hooch of some kind.
Sweet. I found booze, guys. Don't worry. Found booze.
Thank you. Thank you so much for contributing that with your seeing in the dark eyes. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
Anything else over there?
So many things. You want to take a look and pilfer through and see what you can find?
Sure, yeah. I'm gonna look for like a long range weapon or maybe some stuff I can throw. All I have is this tiny dagger. It seems like it might come in handy.
All right. So you're gonna be looking specifically for like weaponry that you could use.
Yeah,
All right.
Pokey stuff, clubby stuff, whatever.
You have a. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Nope. Sorry. Nope. Go on. Not important.
I promise I'll get right to you on that. So you said that you have like a thieving ability, right? I remember your special ability lets you succeed when you're looting or trying to steal.
Yes, I'm like the Sly Cooper of my time.
I would say that applies to this situation. So go ahead and roll your dice, and you can do a mechanic called flipping to succeed. Basically, what that means is that if your second dice would be better for you than the first one, so say you rolled a 72, that would become a 27.
Sure, I got a 15.
All right. You are able to find a hunting bow.
Ooh.
And a full quiver of 15 arrows with it. Looks like
Excellent.
It was very well organized and kept in good shape.
Of course.
Hey, score. Arrows, everybody.
All right, Jack, what were you up to?
So the scrutinize skill, is that like to scrutinize like my surroundings? Is that like just a generality? Can I apply that to pretty much anything?
You can, in fact, use that to size up situations. It can also be used to do things like determine the value of something, like appraisal. It can be used to,
Can I appraise just like the whole lot of everything over there? Because again, I'm trying to keep my losses.
Sure, just trying to keep kind of make a quick account of
Fraser?
what is in here and what you've got. All right, yeah, go ahead.
Oh no. Oh no. So if I rolled a 10 and a 6, that's like 106. Like that's bad.
Nope, that's a 16 actually.
Oh,
so
thank
the 10s place, yeah, that's good. No, that's really good. All right. So you have kind of made a career out of accounting and knowing the value of things.
Yeah.
Most of the things in here are food and sort of dry goods related. There are a couple weapons. A couple of the tools would be worth quite a bit. Most of it would be bulky though, and it would require like a full wagon to be able to transport it. It's not like you can throw all this in your backpack and carry it along. But
Damn it.
looking for what would be the most valuable, sort of a value to weight ratio, essentially, like things that you could carry that would generate you the most money.
Mm-hmm.
There is a couple of mortuary swords, and steel is always worth a lot.
I don't know how to use a sword, but you know what? I think that looks valuable. So, how many of those should I write down?
Got 2.
2. Okay, that's really all I had to contribute.
Honestly, carrying more than 2 of them, and they come with their own scabbards as well.
Oh man,
So-
I just strapped those to either side.
Yeah, carrying more than 2 of them would be very difficult anyway. So, but yeah, those are worth quite a bit because these are military issue. You can tell the person who owned this was probably did a tour as a soldier at some point.
That would not be considered simple melee.
No, they're martial.
Never gonna learn that. All right, cool. Okay, someone do something important.
But generally speaking, if you wanted an idea, you rolled well enough. The whole lot of everything here is probably worth around like between 40 and 50 gold crowns.
Oh, so there's a lot here.
I mean, it's a big space. The room's probably like 40 feet by 40 feet, and it's loaded with like dry goods and horse feed. It's a bunch of stuff that collectively is worth a lot, but it's all very heavy. It's not meant to be carried by a person.
Right. Is there any way to get up into the actual house?
You don't see anything right now, but maybe. Bearing in mind that the house no longer exists, the house was razed to the ground by fire.
I was gonna say, I thought that we burned the house down, but maybe we could look around anyway.
Things could potentially come in through where those entrances were, right?
There's just, so far as you can tell, there is just the one set of heavy double doors that you were able to latch coming down the staircase into the cellar.
I still think we should throw rocks.
You ever seen those old houses from like the 1800s that have the big heavy wood doors that kind of open up at an angle, like going into their basement? Kind of like that.
Okay.
Dracula.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Had one of those.
Yep. Real common, like the 1800s, early 1900s. Or, 1500s, 1600s, which is the technology level for a fantasy. Yeah. So what do you want to do? Lincoln, you got any other ideas?
Let's see. I'm gonna drink a little bit. That's for sure. Stay on brand. And I mean, we came down here to escape the mist, so we can't really go anywhere until the mist kind of calms down again. So I would imagine just kind of like laying low, maybe eating for those of us that might be hungry, those of us that eat food and don't live off of alcohol. Yeah, maybe the investigator can tell us a little bit about maybe what this place used to be.
Yeah, we can do that. But first of all, are you drinking from one of the jugs that you just recently picked up off the shelf?
Oh, yes.
All right, why don't you roll me a toughness test?
Okay. What now?
You got one of your major attributes is called toughness.
Okay.
Yeah, you've got that.
Sure, let's roll it.
Yep.
That is a 34.
Is that a success for you? Is your toughness higher than 34?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured it must be.
Yeah.
All right. You take a swig from the bottle, and immediately, as soon as you realize that you spit it out onto the ground heavily. This is not booze. This is actually like lamp oil.
Oh God.
Ooh.
Why did it smell like booze?
You would guess the jug
Sometimes-
probably previously was used to hold alcohol, and you just got a bad smell in it. That's your critical failure. There is what that is.
Dang. I thought like maybe you shouldn't drink that, but
you know what? He played it right. He wouldn't know. The critical failure is that he thought he had booze and he didn't. So, but it doesn't hurt you. You're able to spit it out on the ground and realize that you picked the wrong jug.
Hey guys, remember when I said I found booze? I was not correct. Heads up, FYI, don't drink this.
I feel like I kind of knew. I just didn't say anything.
Good.
That lamp oil would probably still fuck you up though.
Yeah, I mean, we drink enough. I wouldn't do it.
Okay, well then I guess we'll eat and become refreshed and wait for the mist to mist.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody can pack up to 2 weeks of food on their person. There's lots of good food to eat here. There's oats that are pre-made. There are vegetables that are pickled and have stored down here. So there are pickled cucumbers and celery. It's the first fresh food, quote unquote, that you've been able to have in a long time. So that'll lift your spirits quite a bit, and there's plenty to carry with you.
Okay.
Now what? Do we wait for something to happen?
There's lots of other options that you have, actually. So far, you've been able to kind of look through and pick through the root cellar, but there's several. It takes another day before the mist sort of will fade, and you can take another opportunity to either run or explore your surroundings, or you could continue to look around the basement and see if you find anything.
Okay.
Hint, hint.
Let's look around the basement and see if we find anything.
Good idea, Jack.
Thank you.
All right. Let's get a scrutinize test from everyone, actually, as you sort of pick and look through the shelves and try to see if there's anything else here worth noting.
Sure.
I rolled zeros.
That is bad. If you roll 2 zeros, that's a 100. That's the highest you can roll. That is a total critical failure, and we will get to that in just a moment. What did everybody else?
26.
26. All right.
45.
All right. So the nameless one finds on the ground, kind of using the lantern, there's an area near one of the walls, specifically the northeast far corner of the room, where the dirt has been disturbed in a sort of rounded pattern, as if kind of the way like a door would scrape through dirt.
Oh.
On the ground, as if like a door would be swinging open.
Hey everyone, with the lantern here, I've noticed that in the northeast far corner, there's like a circular removal of dirt that indicates perhaps there's a door.
Oh, perhaps.
You guys want to check this out?
Yeah,
I'm gonna check it out.
All right. Anton found what Anton wants, which is that you found a couple of jugs of what you are now certain 100% is actually alcohol.
Oh.
Ending. I'm gonna put it in a lantern.
I mean,
I went blind.
If it's a high enough proof, it'll work.
I'm just happy you found what you were looking for.
Yeah.
Made my day.
Yeah.
So as Sheik has noticed that, like, Jack is also over towards that corner and is sort of feeling along like the nearby stones. And as that happens,
This is why I wanted to throw rocks.
you manage to find a stone that is a little looser than the others. And as you run your hand across it, you see that it depresses into the wall, and a horrible grinding noise happens as the next thing you know, all of your eyes are like filled with a bright light as a trap has been triggered.
Damn it.
Jack.
God,
And
it's
I
a
am
light.
blind, right? Like I'm super blind now.
That's probably going to be an issue for just a minute. In addition, you take 11 physical damage
What?
God.
as a quick like whiff of gas is there, sort of some sort of gas in the air, and immediately it goes up in flames. Something has struck.
I
And
only
it's,
have a damage threshold of 4.
so you went to the you went into the mildly wounded category. You definitely it singed you and hurt you. You went down on the track.
Wow. Oh my God.
Guys, I'm really hurt.
This is bad.
It's a,
Mildly wounded.
so you rush over. Jack is rolling on the ground to put the flames out to make sure that don't go up. But Sheik was right. The door is open. It was not intended to be opened from this side, clearly, as they went to great aims to do it. But as your eyes sort of adjust and you realize you've got singed, burned wounds, there is a door that goes into the darkness and continues downward. There is more to this root cellar than seemed to meet the eye.
Yeah, like, is there a dragon that spits fire? It was just waiting. What happened?
Maybe. It's probably really uncomfortable. Like, what is it that happened? It seemed like there was there was some sort of gas that was emitting into the room in that corner, and the rock struck it like you would a lantern, and it lit a flame. So it was like a quick flashing burn.
Am I horribly deformed?
No,
Okay, good.
no, you're recoverable. If you're injured, but not too bad. You can still super glue the wound is where we're at right now.
Dirt on it.
Yeah.
Rub some dirt on that.
Somebody super glue my wound, please.
Does anyone have
Do a quick check for stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, quick med check, you know?
I don't know that anybody has medicine. I think the inspector does. I think he's the only one.
He's not here.
So the question is, do you want him to? Yeah, but I'll let him do it. Do you want him to attempt to treat the wound and see if he can treat the burn so that it doesn't get worse or infected?
Yeah, I think that would be great.
All right.
I'm not so good.
Yeah, you didn't take an injury, which is a different mechanic entirely, but your hit
Wait,
points are basically down.
Wait. I thought, guys, I don't know how this works.
So when you exceed your damage threshold, you go down on the track.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take you down on the track all the way to dead. You move down one step on the track at a time.
Oh, okay.
And you don't take what could be permanent injuries until you're down on the track multiple times. So what you have now are superficial wounds, but they still suck. If you've been burned before, it's not great. But
We're probably fine.
you'll be okay. But he can try to restore that if you want to take the time to do it. All right. Yeah, you're not dying.
On it. Yeah.
You're not dying.
Soldier on.
Yeah. I'm tough. I'm adaptable. I'm very adaptable. It's like my main character trait.
It adapts to having a burned Jack.
So who wants to lead the way into the
I
descent?
will. I can see in the dark, kinda. Let's go.
Yeah,
All right.
You already drank some oil. You might as well walk into the fire.
Yep.
I thought about checking to see if the burning flash from the gas cloud ignited the oil that was on the ground, and then I decided not to. I thought that would be a really jerky thing to do.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Plus, that was really far away. It's a big room. That would be like just, comically unlikely and just sort of mean. If you set the
that's
interviews
life.
on fire. You set every other building you've been in on fire so far. You're 1 for 1 on that, but
This building was burnt down when we got here.
it's true. It's true. All right, so Lincoln will go first. And who of the two of you wants to be sort of in the middle?
I can't. I'll do it. I can't see,
right.
so I need to be led.
Yeah,
All right.
that makes sense.
You still do have that lantern, so you can kind of light it from the back, but Lincoln can find the path pretty easily. All right.
Oh, I just meant because I was blinded by my own stupidity.
Yeah. You were looking for stuff and you found stuff.
Yeah.
You can't say that it was a failure. You just had the worst critical failure you can get.
Good to know.
100 is the worst roll. That is the very highest roll. So you sort of make your way down into what is a winding staircase. The first few feet, the walls are made of stone, almost like it was the foundation of this business. They had dug out and made, at least a layer of stone underneath the dirt that sort of kept the structure in place. But if you go down even a few more feet, it's now literally carved out of hard dirt with a huge concentration of clay in it. But these stairs that you're descending are most definitely rock. They are hewn, no question, by tool and by man. You sort of make your way down. You can hear the echo of your footfalls as you round the corners and round the corners. Lincoln, go ahead and make me an awareness check since you are our leader.
29.
You hear something after you've descended for what you're kind of trying to count your footfalls so you know how far you've descended into the earth, and probably guess that you're 70 to 100 feet down at this point. So a pretty good descent, a few hundred steps, and you hear what are almost certainly voices. People are talking.
Cool. Hey guys, there's definitely some people down here. I think if we're quiet enough, we could probably sneak up on them, or at least hear what they're talking about, because they're conversing.
I would like to hear what they're talking about.
All right.
Let us sneak.
I believe that the best, there is a skill on your sheets called eavesdrop.
Yeah.
I have that bubbled.
Nice. That's a good one for you. Go ahead and roll that. Let's see how you do.
All right.
Everybody can listen in.
16.
Yeah, that's going to do it. How did you guys do?
I got a
Yeah.
What was that, Quinn?
I got a 73.
All pops and buzzes. All right. Lincoln is the only one who can quite make out what they're saying. There's just too many voices echoing back and forth in this chamber, and they're just speaking the common tongue, sort of a little bit of a drawl accent. They don't seem to be talking about anything of consequences. Basically, they're talking about what they had for dinner the night before. But you are able to, especially with your incredible skill, count that there are 5 or 6 voices just sort of engaging in banal conversation, telling inside jokes that you don't understand, talking about people that they mutually know that mean nothing to you. But there are definitely 6 people down here. You would guess young adults based on their voices.
They sound humanoid.
Definitely.
Okay. Yeah. So just some people like chatting it up down here. Do we do we go down further? Do you think we should make them aware of our presence here, gang?
Does it seem like they're the people that actually live here and so therefore might know what is going on with the mist and all the nonsense? Or does it seem like they also are just stowaways, such as ourselves?
Very calm.
Probably worked at this place.
They seem like this is kind of normal for them, whereas we are asking a bunch of questions. They are not asking questions.
Right. I'd like to
Well,
ask them questions.
All right.
hold on now. Maybe we should we're probably carrying their swords and their crossbow right now, and their booze, Lincoln. So before we head down there, are we coming down there as friendly people who just borrowed all of their things forever? Or are we coming down there as in we're asking the questions? Do we want to just drop down right now, like death from above, and take the situation in hand? Or do we want to just assume that they're going to be cool with us having what might be their things?
The nameless one brings up a good point.
I've stolen a lot of stuff. The things you got to watch out for is wearing the stuff you stole around where you stole it.
What an excellent point. Okay. I still think that it would be important to find out, if they know some stuff about.
Yeah, let's try and keep some of them alive. If all of them if we can, but at least one or two.
You think like bows of pulled? It's my only medieval timey thing for guns blazing.
Bows are pulled.
Bows
Bows pulled.
Bows are drawn. Bows are drawn.
Right. So do you want to go in with a shout of war, or do you want to try to sneak up on them?
I mean, I have some stealth. I could try and sneak in, and maybe Lincoln and Jack can approach from the other side, friendly like. If things go bad, I'm going to grab one of them. Hold them hostage.
I like it. What an excellent plan.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Thank you.
It's a good one.
So Jack and I will alert them of our presence, and we won't let them know that there's a nameless one also sneaking about.
Oh, I'm very...
All right.
And hopefully they pay no mind to these two swords strapped to either side of me.
Yeah. Well, better that you have them than they do.
So the question is, you're still on the staircase and you haven't been able to see the scene. So who is going to descend down the stairs first?
Well, I'm a little bit agile too. I was wondering if there's a way I could climb from a direction they wouldn't see. I'm not really sure how far they are.
You don't see anything except that you're still on the winding staircase at this point. Okay. You could use the stealth skill to attempt to creep your way slowly down the stairs until you can get sight of them.
I'm going to give that a shot.
All right. Go ahead and roll your stealth skill for me.
I rolled 27, so I think I got it.
Slowly and silently, the nameless one disappears from the sight of the lantern. As they sneak, and slowly you can no longer see the reflection upon them. So you continue to descend down, and at this point, you also, as you continue, you can clearly hear the conversation. You lose sight of the light, though, which you can't see in the dark, but it's very easy to guide yourself because it's just a staircase that is literally going in a circle. So you can use the wall and you're moving slowly and stealthily, silently through it. And eventually, as you make two more turns around, you see the flickering of a campfire light sort of come from the right side of your vision and slowly start to fill the staircase. And eventually you round your way around and you find yourself in, it almost takes your breath away. It is a huge chamber. So far, you cannot see the other side of it, even on the other side of the campfire that is probably about 30 feet away. with 6 plainclothes folk just sitting around it with a grill top stove over the top of it, cooking what seems to be looks like a rodent, probably like a large rodent that they are cooking to eat. And the light goes far into the sky, so far that you can't see as far as it stretches. You see like a brick structure that stretches almost as far that you would guess would have been a well from the property. And not only do you see this campfire, but in the distance, as your eyes sort of start to adjust to the new light, you quickly count 1, 2, 3, at least 5 or 6 more campfires in the distance of this enormous chamber. They are not alone down here.
Okay, I'm gonna shuffle back real quick and alert the crew that just a bunch of geeks having a campfire, probably have their weapons, but there's a lot more going on down there, and we might have to rethink stuff once you guys see what's going on. You should just come look. It's probably fine.
Okay.
Okay.
And as you round the corner, as the Nameless went in earlier, and you see this scene just sort of like, if you've ever been in a grotto cavern before, like one of the really large ones, it's sort of like that, only at even a bigger scale. This is no basement. This is literally like an underground settlement of some kind.
Yeah.
You found a little city.
The mines of Moria and shit.
Khazad-dûm. It's funny, actually, in my ears right now, the soundtrack that I have is the Mines of Moria from Lord of the Rings on a very low volume. So,
Nailed it.
I have education and rumor. So could I theoretically roll and see if I can just kind of like think about what this might be?
Your education would give you enough, would give you the ability to know enough knowledge to know like where these people might have come from or how old this settlement is based on its like structures and pieces. So yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, I rolled a 57 and my intelligence is a 41. So I'm assuming no.
You have a trained bubble in education though?
Yes.
Okay, so you had 10 for that, so it's a 51, but still not quite. It's just so hard to tell. It's so dark, and you haven't really like approached the civilization.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if they're under here because of the mist, or if they were already down here when that became a thing.
Like mole people.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
I have a folklore skill. Can I search my memory for something as well?
Sure. Give me a roll.
Okay. I rolled 29. I'm doing good today with the rolls. I'm very pleased with what happened. Thank you.
So you know for a fact that there are deep and ancient places underneath the lands, no question about it. But those have been completely unoccupied for a long, long time. The ruins do not surprise you. The fact that there are people here, that's weird.
Well, I say we just go ask questions. You said they were a bunch of nerds, right?
Geeks.
I
Bunch of geeks.
mean, that first gaggle of goons around the campfire, I didn't really take a good look at the other campfires, though.
Bunch of
Oh. Well, that does cause a problem, doesn't it?
Oh, I don't know. We've been lucky so far. We could just go in swinging.
Let's go.
What?
Those are drawn.
Bows are drawn. Lincoln, what do you think?
I'd say how far away is like the next campfire? Like if we talk to one group, or is another group immediately going to hear us, or are they far enough away that we can just like interact with one group without everyone else knowing?
You can interact with one group without everyone else knowing. The campfires seem to be relatively distant, sort of like a. Yeah, it's like just like you would see like an outdoor like campsite. Like nobody is trying to be in each other's business, but they're still within sight of each other.
Sure. Let's say you two hang out here, bows are drawn, and I'll go up and talk to them, and if I make a cry out like a dolphin, that means like start shooting these people. But otherwise, like I'm gonna see if I can talk to them.
Okay, just so I know though, can you do the dolphin sound real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Got it.
That literally made your microphone like cry out in pain so much that it muted for me.
Cool.
Oh.
All right.
So yeah, I'll go and talk to them and see what's going on down here.
All right. Are you attempting to stealthily approach, or are you just going to walk up and engage?
Yeah, I'm just gonna walk up, like announce my presence, like, hey, I found a staircase. I saw your campfire. What's going on? There's a bunch of mist up there. The topside world's crazy. How are you?
All right.
Casual.
Yeah. You make that approach, and they see you sort of as they're coming, and they don't exhibit any surprise at first until they recognize that they don't know who you are. They just sort of like quickly sit up, but they don't react in an alarmed or threatening manner.
That's right. Cool.
Hi, one of them says sort of quizzically.
Hi, my name's Lincoln. I came from upstairs, and what's going on down here? You guys got a whole little like underground palace going on. Upside is really sucky. What's happening down here?
One of them, sort of a 40-ish-year-old, like heavier set man with a full red curly beard, sort of lets a deep chuckle. Like this stair, he points to the column of dirt rising into the sky that you did emerge from. That door's been closed. I didn't realize there was anybody left.
In the world?
Well, I mean, this qualifies as the world, he says, kind of making a gesturing arm towards the huge open cavern and the various dotting campfires. Come on over, bring your friends. We've got plenty for everyone. He sort of gestures towards. As you get a closer look, it's an animal that sort of resembles like a wallaby that they're cooking on the.
Just to make it relatable.
Oh, you guys, are you cooking wallaby? Oh, guys, come on. They're cooking wallaby. Come over here.
You got wallaby?
Yeah.
All right.
I want to eat a wallaby.
Oh, Jack, shut up.
You spend enough time down here, you kind of take what you can get.
Well, we just came from over there, and there was like a bunch of stuff there.
Yeah. We didn't have wallaby though.
All right.
They kind of look at you with wide eyes, like, "What do you mean? You have dry goods? You found dry goods?"
No, I was making a joke. I was making a funny joke from up. I'm from up there, and our humor is different than here. Of course, I don't have any dry goods. That'd be ridiculous. What do you know about this mist, man?
That's why we're all here.
Well, yeah, cool. Anything else?
Same.
You guys know what started this mist? Because where I come from, mist is like gray and watery instead of red and dangerous.
Same.
In fact, I take it you've kind of come from around, so I guess the best way I can describe it is there was a great champions battle, and it ended up serving as a blood sacrifice, and the heroes of that, if you want to call them that, they brought something back with them they weren't supposed to bring back. And ever since then, our land's kind of gone to shit. Our loved ones have come back. What were you saying there, Jack?
I knew I wrote down abyssal demons for a reason. I don't remember what it was. That sounds like it.
Yeah. One by one, the people we loved and buried came back. The ones we didn't love and didn't bury, well, they also came back.
Oh.
Rough.
Trying to find our way out, didn't find it. So then we found our way down here. There's fresh streams of water. There's some game, he says again as he gestures to the campfire grill with the wallaby on it. So we don't really know what to do next, but there's plenty of place to wander around down here. And, well, sun was never that great to us anyway.
Never bothered me anyway. So how long have you guys been down here?
He kind of turns towards one of the nearby like pillars. You notice that there are these sort of dirt or stone or brick pillars everywhere that sort of reach into the sky, and he shines a little bit of he has a lantern that's sitting next to the stove, and he shines it on it and he starts counting. Looks like this is our 7th week.
Oh, okay. Not super long.
Yeah.
Jack's family lived in one of the houses up there. Maybe you know Jack's family.
Yes, I'm very important.
Because Jack is very important.
Yes.
What's the you got a name for me?
Yes. And their names are Uncle Liam and Aunt Pam.
Liam and Pam. Yeah, we knew them. Kind of assumed they didn't make it.
Well, you were right.
Very sensitive.
Brother.
Most people didn't make it.
Okay, so this there were abyssal demons. Is that the track that we're on? Is that what you're saying? The champions summoned some conjuring style bullshit?
I don't really know a lot about that, but I know that they brought back a child with them.
Okay, well that's
they
creepy.
disappeared, and they disappeared. When they came back, there was a child. They said looked like an angel. Walked with all 4 of them, and wherever they went, death followed.
Like the literal Antichrist?
Let's not bring religion into this, Jack. Come on, you sound crazy.
Like the Golden Child, that Eddie Murphy film.
Yeah.
Heard about in the lore.
Like the anointed one from Buffy
Right.
season 1.
Oh yeah.
Sam, you might remember actually this event from the very first time we played.
I do. Vaguely.
Yep.
I have like an ancestral memory of it.
Yep.
Perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
You guys knew what caused this shit all along?
Well,
They caused it. They, in different forms, caused it.
it wasn't me, you know?
Fill me in on this about how you adopted a freaky deaky demon child?
It never came up before.
Well, I feel like it's kind of important.
You know, well, let's separate me from it, first of all. There
Y'all
was
in my house.
there was a story of warriors who broke free from this. I know this because of folklore, clearly. They broke free from this contest. Instead of fighting each other, they killed the people that were putting them in this simulated battle. And then they took a child with them and they walked off. And I never knew what happened to that child, but apparently they brought death wherever they went and maybe a red mist. That's what I'm piecing together in my brain.
Yeah. No, your folklore knowledge definitely knows the story. They held sort of the what was called the final fight. Yes, I'm going to reference Super Nintendo games when we do it.
Agar.
Yep. Where basically like hand-to-hand combatants who had found their careers had become illegal all came together to have like one last chance at glory, basically to kill each other. They were all going to die in one grand battle.
That's right.
But it turned out that was actually like a trickery to spill enough blood to make a sacrifice to bring back some sort of horrible ancient evil. Yes. And they, as said, partially destroyed some of the evil, but brought a child back with them, not realizing that was one of the demons.
I just wanted to get this house. Now we gotta fight a kid.
We don't have to do anything. We could just live down here and eat wallaby.
Does that mean we beat the game?
Yes. You win. That's how.
I mean, we're safe.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Good job, everybody. This was a good session.
I think that this was an excellent campaign.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep. Who doesn't want to live underground in the Demolition Man like city?
I was about to ask everyone, how do they feel? Like, there's no mist. Weird slayers starting fires everywhere, trying to not let us have their hats and clothes. And
Just not letting you willingly steal things from them.
I'm keeping the hat.
Everybody should have a great
So they thought the door that we came through was closed. Do they think that all doors are closed and they're completely locked in here? Or are they like taking little excursions, you know, a la Demolition Man, to go fuck up some Taco Bells on the surface?
They actually they have scavenger teams
Oh yeah.
that go into the world. But that door you got right there, that door you came from, it's been shut tight. We've never been able to get it open.
Is the mist a metaphor for COVID-19?
Maybe. I can neither confirm nor deny.
Goes all the way to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Maybe we have some material that we give to new folks, and I guess you guys would be your own camp. So we're kind of a loosely organized little group of tribes, but I'd love to introduce you to the welcoming committee.
That can't go sour.
Yeah, something doesn't seem right here. I say we absolutely do it.
All right. Yeah, I think I have an extra here right now, and at least one of you is a reader, correct? If not, the inspector is.
I just learned how to read, actually.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I went to college.
So they have like seriously like a little pamphlet that they give you that has clearly been drawn on some paper that they scavenged from somewhere, with a picture of a little nuclear family on it. It says, "So you've been banished to the underground," and it has them like setting up their little like underground like family. It literally seems to be a list of contacts and rules for living in this underground like commune of camps. How far away your campsite has to be from others, what you can take and what you can't, like what's considered like how dibs works. There's very like elaborate rules for it.
Cool.
Very elaborate rules.
Yeah. As in like,
Name 5.
you always have dibs over your own property if you owned the ranch or home upon which on the surface you get a grant of dibs, but the person who lives there has 90 days in order to either show back up in the house or claim dibs from their own camp, at which point you file a formal appeal to claim the goods that were there. Like they've been divvying up the things that they have. Upon your death, your next of kin has so many days to come and claim rights to your property before it becomes open dibs. And they have a whole thing going on as to who owns what you can hunt, where you can hunt.
And
They're trying
what
to give
other
us.
important questions should we ask?
What's that?
What other important questions should we ask?
Oh,
So if we're our own little subsection,
Yeah.
do we have to organize our own like raiding party and hunting party, or are we joining with other hunters and raiders, or how does that work? Does one of us have to stay here and like take care of the campsite?
page 3 indicates what called "What's Mine and What's Yours" talks about what you are expected to contribute to the group, and one of which is if you have an able-bodied warrior, then you are expected to contribute that to their basically sort of makeshift militia.
Okay.
Other than that, you are your own things. It tells you where to like get rid of your how do I put this delicately, your waste.
Who gave this to us?
One of the guys, one of his kids, apparently, probably like 15.
Are they still there?
Yeah, you're still hanging out with them, with this
Okay.
this family.
Crumple up the pamphlet and throw it at the kid. Tell him to beat it with his rules.
All your stupid rules.
With all your stupid rules and beat it.
And the patriarch, hey, now there's no reason for that.
Well,
They're not his rules anyway, you numbskull.
Wait, so whose rules are they?
He gestures to the wide. They are the rules for all of us.
Yes, they're the rules for everybody, but they have to have been set forth and established by someone. So who's the leader?
We have there's a camp at the very far end. 12 of them be. They call them the first family. They've been here for about 2 years now. Basically, the first family to come down after the event.
It was them. They did it.
He shrugs.
Yeah.
I wasn't here.
what does he want, a nickel? Why is he still around?
You're at his camp.
He wanted to rule, and then the mist happened, and he brought everybody down here, and he's keeping them down here. We have to set these people free. We have to fight off the mist.
Are you talking to this camp by saying that?
I'm your leader now.
Whoa, Jack. Whoa, Jack.
Wait, no, this is what I do.
See this.
I mean, we're all free. None of us are held here against our will. If we want to go back outside, we can.
Are you sure? Aren't you being held here by the mist? Don't you find it kind of concerning that these people have been down here for 2 years and they've established this camp and they not once have set out to try to fix this?
We're simple farm folk. Miss, there's nothing I can do.
That's no reason not to be involved in your local politics. You need to get out there and go to these town hall meetings and be educated on what's happening in your community in the summer.
We're doing the best we can.
How do you expect change if you don't make yourself informed?
Oh, I'm well informed about what goes on up there, and I bet you are too by the look of it.
What does that mean?
I didn't ask about what was going on up there. I asked about what was going on down here.
All right, if I may interject, can I start like where can I set up my campfire? You know, everyone's got little campfires going. Like where can I put out Lincoln's little place to stake my claim down here?
Well, if you hadn't disposed of your pamphlet, you'd have detailed directions on where you could do that and what you can say. But as long as you give everybody 120 feet of grace, you can set up wherever you like.
Outstanding. I'm gonna set up a little campsite for us. You guys keep talking politics. You guys are doing great. Jack, I'm proud of you. I'm gonna go set up camp.
I'm just saying that there has literally never been a good first family.
It's true. There's some weirdness to that.
There's
You're right,
something
Jack.
wrong here.
All right. So, Lincoln, are you going to go search out a space for a campsite?
Yeah, I'll if I can, I'll take Dave with me. You know, just in case.
Sure.
I moved or something.
Dave is grateful that the ceilings in here are high and cavernous, as Dave gets a little claustrophobic in some of the smaller spaces.
Sure.
Dave is happy to stretch their legs and go with you to find a campsite.
You guys
Outstanding.
are really just gonna sit down and be campers for the rest of your lives? Is this your plan?
No, I mean like for right now, yeah. But like no, not for the rest of my life.
I do have some wounds, I suppose, that could be healed over a short amount of time by staying here. But also, I got to figure out this first family bullshit, and I'm going to use this rumor skill.
You have the look in your eye that says that you're not much for being contained. He speaks directly to Jack. I understand. I used to have the vigor of that youth myself, but I'm telling you, you'll find plenty of room down here to wander and plenty of people who felt the same way you did. And either they changed their mind or, well, let's just say they're not with the camp anymore.
Okay, that's menacing and rather cult-like, sir or madam.
Or man.
Friend.
Chum.
Yeah. He shrugs like, we've been through nothing but hardship. This is the best we've had it for a while, and I'll grant that it's shit, but it's what we got. Got to keep my family safe.
Okay. Well, we have to give people 120 feet around their campfires.
Yep, 120 feet.
How close do you have to be to eavesdrop?
I mean, you could easily do it. It wouldn't be that hard to, like, because there's nothing but really darkness in between the camps. So getting to a position where you could eavesdrop on camps would be very easy.
I want to find some shit out.
You want to spend some time listening to folks and hearing what they're saying? You can do that. Meanwhile, Lincoln has gotten an appropriate campsite with Dave and is starting to set up over there while Jack goes and is going to listen in and find out the lay of the land.
No. Jack got an 86. Jack's got bad allergies.
It's not that you can't hear them, because you can. Most people just talk about meaningless things. It would sort of be like intercepting cell phone conversations. Most of them are, trite.
Mm-hmm.
They just talk about like love interests and drinking and make jokes and just talk about nothing. They just seem to be people.
All right.
But there's still plenty to learn. Don't you worry about that. What is the nameless one going to do? You gonna find some more pamphlets to crumple up and throw at children?
First off, I
had several good jokes in that pamphlet. That's just on.
Well, I don't like being handed a sheet of rules. These people didn't even introduce themselves. It seems rude.
Mm-hmm.
No, I guess I'm just gonna kick rocks around Lincoln and Dave and just be a bummer.
Let's which of you has the higher survival skill? Because setting up an effective campfire and camp in general, especially a more stable one, would fall under that skill.
My survival is 34.
All right. What about you, Sheik? What do you have?
Unclear. this time?
It's under the it's a willpower skill on your sheet, I believe. I think that sounds right. I know there's a survivor skill on there.
Yeah, it's in perception.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's a perception skill.
Oh, then I have 58.
Blam.
Roll it, see if help them since you're over there with the camp.
Sure.
Well, Jack goes around and is trying to figure out who these first family folk are and what their deal is.
98.
Did you roll a 90? You guys roll a 96 and a 98 on your respective skills?
Yeah.
Your first day in Goblin Town has not gone well.
Goblin Town.
Wait till they get to the singing of songs. That's when
No.
that's all they sing is the down to Goblin Town from like the cartoon version.
Dance magic dance.
Yes. Yeah, no, the Goblin King is not going to be a thing, but you're able to. Doesn't mean you're not able to build a camp. It just means that you're gonna waste some wood and resources, especially until you can figure it out. It's not perfect for cooking. You're not going to starve, but it doesn't serve it's not terribly comforting. You kind of look like those that one camp who didn't set up their tent before they got wasted. Everybody knows what I'm talking about here, right?
Farm then.
Yeah. Like everybody else is just perfectly arranged. It's yeah.
Well, that fits considering Lincoln and I were on top of that.
Sort of the yeah.
I'm gonna say, can I have some of Lincoln's booze while I'm just sitting here doing camp stuff?
That's
There we go. Cheers.
So I gather from the general mood, particularly Jack has made it pretty clear that no interest in ingratiating themselves with these weird, like, underground, like, hovels. Is very interested in finding out just what the heck is going on down here.
Oh, but I can totally pretend to be interested in wanting to stay here. I have that charm skill or whatever. I could probably talk my way out of it, but I want to know what is going on, and I'm going to continue to eavesdrop for as long as possible.
I guess my question would be, you can definitely be that way with the other camps and with the other, like, citizens. The question is, are you going to reveal your plans to your compatriots? Are you going to be open with them about your intent?
Oh, yes. Oh, I thought I had already told them.
I thought so too, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows what page Jack is on.
I thought they witnessed my very public argument with a farmer and his child.
Oh,
They
yeah,
did.
Jack, I'm totally all for ruining this underground society. I just want to make sure that, like, we have our little camp set up so we're good at least for, like, tonight. And then we can totally burn this place to the ground. That's fine.
Okay, well, like, maybe a halt on the burning. I know that that's something that you guys like to do. However, I just want to find out how this first family is very obviously contributing to this red mist problem.
I don't know about them or that, but they probably have neat stuff to steal. So
Exactly.
this adventure, there's probably plunder to be had.
Well, if nothing else, you feel very certain that you are in the ancient ruins that existed beneath the land for a long time, and there are places deeper within here that are certainly known to have great riches, and certainly none of the people you see here would have the guts to go further down.
We're gonna
Maybe
take
if you.
this place over.
What was that?
We're gonna take this whole place over. It's gonna be great.
Oh,
But
yeah.
for now, I wanna make sure no one thinks that we're planning on doing that.
Yeah. Perhaps the most unusual thing about this is that while a couple of random families just come over to very briefly and briskly say hello, just to greet you, no one, and I mean no one, seems surprised that you're here. Like, it's pretty clear that the foundation of this place is people who have been forced into hiding, and so more and more people coming underground. It's just become sort of the way of the world.
Gotcha.
At least some of them seem to be like busybodies who want to see if they're, neighbors, but most of them have given up on the idea that anybody they knew from their previous life is going to make it, that all those people are gone.
Are some of the camps like way nicer than others? Does it look like you could buy things to make our camp better?
Yeah.
What?
Jack kind of discovers as Jack goes around that each one of the different camps, generally they've set up entire systems of trade. There's an entire economy here. There are the equivalent of restaurants and blacksmiths and leather shops. This is a functioning city where people have taken the skills that they had above, or whatever the needs of the camp are, and have turned them into like little merchant stalls.
What do the digs of the first family look like?
All right. Roll me on eavesdrop. Let's see if you're able to really get close enough to them to see.
I rolled a 42, and my eavesdrop is 65.
Over time, you do it only takes you a day or so as you sort of wander around. No one specifically talks about them, but it becomes very clear that the cave sort of like has a very gentle rise to it as it goes towards what would be the east. And at the very end of it is clearly where the more opulent families of the city have sort of made their homes. Most of them have constructed like large like tents, and a couple of them even have permanent structures that they built out of wood. Like they have actual houses, or they have like more elaborate places to stay, multiple room tents and things like that, as opposed to sleeping outside on the ground near a fire. And one of the tents, no question, not one of the permanent structures, but there's a 8 spire tent, 8 different posts that are holding it up. And the fabric is canvas, and it's multicolored, blue and pink and red. It looks like sort of like a circus tent, to bring it into the real world, is known to be the first family's tent, where all 12 of them stay in a space that's certainly bigger than like your uncle's house. It's quite an elaborate site, and they have good access to the stream that runs through here, the underground water. They have access to basically as many creature comforts as could possibly be in a place like this.
Guys, there is a major wealth disparity in this camp, and I believe that we need to restore socialism to all.
Oh, Jack.
Split the first family's head with an axe and join your socialist brethren.
We've only known about this society for like 20 minutes, but I feel like it's our place to overthrow it.
Same.
Let's bring them the peace they need.
I certainly wouldn't stop you if your intent is to go to war. Here's one thing that I can tell you for sure, and that from your eavesdropping around, is that there are definitely people who had to flee with far less than others. So there were people who were able to establish and have an advantage in starting trade, while others basically have had very little to give and have never really been able to do much more than scrape to get by. The place does provide a bare minimum of food for like those who have none for themselves. They have sort of the equivalent of really bare bones social programs. in which they won't let anyone starve to death, particularly children. But beyond that, there's really no mechanism by which, if you had nothing to bring down here and you started with nothing, it's almost impossible if you had no like really valuable rare skill to get out of that pattern. So for example, people who are horse trainers and things like that are destitute because there's no need for horses. The social order is not perfect by any stretch. It has major problems. Did I sell that well?
Yep. So exactly what I thought was happening is totally happening. Those guys are evil, and they're contributing to the issues of the Red Mist just to keep all these people down here underneath their thumb so that they can control them all.
That is true. However, remember that all of your wealth came from family ownership pass on when you were in the world above. These people benefit from a structure here that you benefited from when you were in the real world.
My family ran a farm, not a city. So
just saying, there's depth to the issue. There's like,
I just came in to inherit the house. Now I'm going to overthrow the government.
Yep. A very new, probably relatively easy to overthrow government.
Excellent.
They do have a militia, which basically is the scavenger bands, but it's not very, the structure here is pretty bare bones. It is basically the bare minimum they need to get by.
We have an ogre.
You do. You do indeed. And
a pacifist ogre. But
so Jack, here's my thought. I have a charm skill. I think you have charm and like rumor and stuff. What if we start like, talking to other camps and just like letting people know that, we have skills. Maybe we can get people to like ask us to do some like mercenary-esque stuff or some exploration type stuff, become, people of the people, get some people on our side before we try to overthrow the government.
Literally my only skill is to become a socialite.
Outstanding. Then we're going to use that one skill that you have to its fullest extent.
Okay.
You will be the face of the new republic.
Okay, excellent.
Cool.
Who watches the Watchmen, right?
Yes. So yeah, I think like just as we're down here like setting up our camp, but we should like, talk to the other camps, let them know that like, hey, we're definitely some survivalists, we're some adventurers, and if anyone knows of anything that needs to be done that other people can't do, maybe come and talk to our camp, and we'll set them up, and we'll explore the depths of the underworld here.
Gotcha. Sort of becoming your own mafia, basically.
Yeah. We're doing some underhanded shit here.
I probably know who the first family is.
Oh, Jack?
What's this?
Well, I didn't inherit a house of people that these people knew.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
It's possible.
It doesn't change this whole overthrowing thing, does it, if you knew them, right?
No, not if they're still bad people.
Okay, just checking.
I have I have a lot of planning to do for this next game. I have to really like flesh out like what an absolute like actual revolution might look like in a I will tell you as you're sort of gathering your plans that for sure some things. I can give you some hints. You're gonna need supplies. You're gonna need weapons for you and the people who are going to assist you. You're outgunned right now. And as you guys mentioned, an excellent idea, you'll need to curry influence, either by doing favors or by making them dissatisfied with the current social order. You'll have to you'll either have to find or breed descent of some kind. I'm sure you could. There's plenty to find if you look for it.
Les Miserables all over this place.
Yep. You do basically have the equivalence of like a ruling family. You have sort of a monarchy.
Huh. Well.
But you do have the advantage of having a bunch of food that is yours by dibs.
Dibs.
And if we're gonna hunt some wallabies, it's gonna be great.
Underground wallabies.
My favorite kind of wallabies are the underground ones. In the eyes.
I can't even guess as to how, like, I feel Dave would go along with whatever, like, gets them approval from who they see as their friends. Like, they want their friends to like them.
Mhm.
I have no idea what Shenzi would be into. I feel certain that the inspector would be into it. I feel really comfortable that the inspector would want to overthrow the social order within hours of seeing it.
Within minutes.
It existed a society here.
As soon as they had a pamphlet, that was just game on at that point. It was
How
like,
was them immediately trying to subjugate us?
yep, what is this like? What is this Methodist Church bullshit that you're dropping on me here?
I don't like it when people tell us what to do.
Yes.
We need to tell them what to do.
We need help.
If this goes poorly, you're going to kill a lot of people.
What do you mean by like a lot? Like, what is a rough estimation of like how many people are
How
down?
many people live here?
Yeah.
About 400. I'm not saying, and of course, you wouldn't end up killing all of them, but there's a good chance you could end up killing 50 people, or obviously die yourself.
Grim and perilous.
Let the blood run.
Well, first we have to find out if they're actually connected to the red mist.
Good start.
Possible I could sneak in places and try and steal something that maybe would give us clues.
Documents.
Yeah, documents, top secret documents.
Writings, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got this.
It's possible. It's possible. So your assumption is that these people are somehow connected to the cataclysm, and this is their responsibility, and that this is their.
Maybe there's some other dirt on them, and I can use that to leverage them for.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Possibly.
We do
Open
need
door.
general dirt to sow discord.
Yeah.
Maybe not solely responsible for the red mist, but definitely are a contributing factor to why these people are still down here and the mist is still.
I mean, even if they're not, we could spread that rumor, and that would help us take over better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if they're like actually good people, we're taking them out and taking them.
Oh,
That's not what that's not the message that I wanted to.
Yeah, I
most
thought
on
we all
board
said
our team has ever been, and we should just stick to this plan.
That's not the revolution I want to be the face of.
Oh,
I mean, steps are already in motion, Jack. I think it's a little late to get off the train.
Well, in every generation of chosen, it's boring. So.
We already have a Slayer in this group. Though a Slayer is not like anything mystical in this game, but all right, guys, it's 7:00, and with that, we overthrow the social order. We will. I would really like to play next week if you folks are up for it. I'd love to get back on a regular schedule again. I'm ready to do this. I'm super excited by this now. I can't lie. I'm pretty jacked, pun intended.
Just a general theme.
I'm surprised that this went so well, considering how much pain medication I'm on right now. So,
Yeah.
So proud of
thank
you.
everyone, for putting up with me.
You were
I never
great
tried it.
as always.
I'm pretty used to your drunkenness. It seems always out. So whatever you're taking, stay on it.
All right, thank
There
you.
you go. Can I have some? Oh, it doesn't work that way. Anyway, thank you so much for contributing, joining. Thank you to our audience. Very much excited. So next week we overthrow a fledgling government. That might take a couple weeks.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Good night, everybody.